Welcome to In the Kitchen with Brianna Scott. Today we're making Mexican cornbread and white chicken chili. So to start out with our cornbread, we're going to use 2 packages of cornbread mix. We're going to dump these into just a normal size bowl, a mixing bowl. So after we put our cornbread mixture in the bowl, we are going to start working on our onion. And our recipe calls for 1 medium onion chopped. So we're going to use this handy dandy little chopper. So I'm just gonna half it. And then I'm going to cut it into pieces that will fit through my chopper. And you can cut the onion, you can dice it, or you can chop it, whatever size onion bites that you prefer. All right, so we are ready to chop our onion. I like to use the chopper simply because it gives you uniform pieces, uniform bites. And it's fast and easy. This is not a very strong onion because it's not even offering to make my eyes water. We almost have our onion ready. Okay, so we have our onion chopped and ready to go, and we have our cornbread mixture, our 2 packages of the cornbread mix in the bowl. So now we're gonna put our onions in with our cornbread mixture. And if you don't have a chopper at home, you are more than welcome to just use your knife. I just find it fast and easy to use the chopper. You do not have to have one to do this recipe. So we've got our onions and our cornbread, and I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit, and then we'll be ready to add our other ingredients. So our other ingredients today, we have 2 cups of the shredded cheese, and that's cheddar cheese. We have the 1 can of corn, and what I do instead of using the different cans for the jalapeno pepper, for the chopped green chilies, and then cream corn, I just buy the Fiesta corn. It tastes just as good to me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. We're gonna add our 12 ounces of sour cream. And our eggs, we have 4 eggs right here, and our recipe says lightly beaten. So I'm just gonna give those a quick whisk before we add that into our cornbread mixture. I had one yolk that didn't want to bust. All right, so our eggs, I would consider that lightly beaten. And we're gonna incorporate our eggs. And I'm gonna give this a little bit of a stir before we add our cheese and our corn. And I don't drain the Fiesta corn. I think it adds a little flavor if you leave it the way it comes out of the can. This is a very wet batter, but we're just trying to get it all mixed together. And do not beat the lumps out of your cornbread. Some people would like to beat it smooth, but cornbread is not meant to be smooth. It will cook out just fine with its lumps. They'll cook out. Okay, so we've got that pretty well incorporated. We're gonna add our 8 ounces of cheddar cheese. That cheese smells good. I wish you guys could smell it. And then we are going to add our Fiesta corn. And that is a 15-ounce can of corn. You can buy the smaller cans and use 2 of those, or you can just get the 1 large can. You have options when you go to the grocery store, but I prefer the Fiesta style corn over cream style corn and chilies and jalapenos separate. That's just my preference. You can do it any way that it suits you. And we're just gonna give this a mix, get the corn kind of even throughout our cornbread. And we have already greased our 13x9 baking dish. All right, so that is incorporated. So we are going to pour our cornbread into our 13x9 greased baking dish, and then we're gonna bake that for 50 minutes at 350 degrees. And this Mexican cornbread is something different than just regular cornbread. It goes well, really well, the flavors with the white chicken chili that we're going to make today. So we're just gonna spread that out and pop that in the oven for 50 minutes. And we're gonna put our Mexican cornbread in the oven, 350 degrees for 50 minutes. And now we're ready to do our white chicken chili. So I'm gonna do a rundown of our ingredients, and then we're gonna put our vegetable oil in our stock pot here, and we're gonna saute our onion and go on with our recipe. So what we have in front of us is 2 cans of white beans, and those are drained and rinsed. This is 32 ounces of low sodium chicken broth. This is 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, 1 large yellow onion diced. This is 4 cloves of minced garlic. This is 1 tablespoon of ground cumin. This is 1.5 teaspoons of ground coriander. This is our 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Right here we have 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is 4 cups of rotisserie chicken, and we prefer to just use the white meat for that. You can use the dark meat, it's your choice. It's whatever your preference is on that. And then this is 3/4 cup frozen corn. And our recipe calls for fresh cilantro, but we're using dried today. So that's 1/4 cup of dried cilantro, and then 1 tablespoon of fresh lime juice down here on the end. So that's the rundown of our ingredients that we're going to use to make white chicken chili. And now we have moved over to the stove, and we're going to start our white chicken chili with 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil into our stock pot. And we're going to quickly add our onion so that it can begin to saute. It'll take us about 4 minutes to cook our onion until it's translucent. That has a nice smell to it and a loud sizzle. So our onion has been sauteing for about 4 minutes now, and it's a nice clear color, has a great smell to it, and we're gonna add our garlic and saute it for about 1 minute. It's really easy to burn garlic, so you want to be careful not to burn it and to stir it. But that's where a lot of your flavor is gonna come from, is that garlic. All right, we let our garlic cook for about a minute, and now we're ready to add cumin, coriander, and chili powder, and then we're gonna cook it about 1 more minute. So we gave our spices about a minute for our flavors to blend, and now we're ready to add our chicken stock, our beans, and our salt. That was our 32 ounces of low sodium chicken broth. This is our salt, and then our beans. And that will get to cook a little bit longer than our 1 and 1 minute increments. So we've got all our ingredients in here, and we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to reduce the heat to low, let it simmer uncovered for about 20 minutes. We have had this simmering for about 20 minutes, so now we're ready to stir in our rotisserie chicken, our cilantro, and our lime juice. And then we're going to let it simmer about 5 minutes so that everything is heated throughout. And we're just going to give that a stir and let that heat for about 5 more minutes, and then our white chicken chili is done. This may seem soupy to you right now, but that's how it's supposed to be. It thickens the longer it sits. One note that I will add is that this recipe calls for a jalapeno pepper and 2 poblano peppers, and we chose not to use those. You can add those if you like it a little spicy. And the seeds in a pepper are where they hold your spice, so if you want it really spicy, add your peppers and your seeds. And you can top this with sour cream, some lime, or tortilla chips to serve it. Those are optional toppings. This is our finished product. The soup yields about 12 cups of soup. The cornbread makes about 18 pieces, and it takes about an hour from start to finish for this meal.